I say check it. Wait. Yeah, he does say check it.
Okay.
Yeah, he said that's why I started saying it because he'd be like, check it. I got more Mac than Craig, and then, but every single time I'll be like, check it. I got more. Like it's just stuck. Whenever I say check it, it's a wrap. That line is coming out.
I used to focus only on hurts. I had many gifts, but I was my own curse. But hold up, wait a minute, stop that. I need to focus on now, not that.
Get your mind right and your money tight.
What's going on, people? This is What We Thinking. And I'm one of your hosts, Influence. And to the right of me, I got Bryson.
Hello.
What up, Bryson?
What up, man?
What's going on this week for you?
Man.
We're going to jump right into it.
What's going on this week?
Oh, wait. First, I want to give good vibes and prayers and whatever you believe in to California. They're going through it with the fires. Yeah, wilding. But probably talk about that later. But go ahead.
Oh, what's going on with me this week?
Yeah, what's been going on this week?
Man, happy to be off. You know, trying to enjoy my days off.
Oh, I thought you were saying you was off all week.
Oh no,
I was like, damn.
I kind of need that though.
Yeah, you need a vacation.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, more days off, relax.
I could imagine with you. I don't know if I would want to take a vacation because I might not want to go back. I know how I feel. Mm-hmm. Like I just went back to work this week, Monday. And I've been off since the 14th of December. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to work no more. like I don't want to work no more. Like this week was so fucking hard. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
That's how the owner operator, Alonzo, shout out to Alonzo.
Alonzo.
He takes off every year at Christmas, the Christmas holiday and the New Year holiday for the week.
Yeah.
And
that's what I do. I take off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what every year I take off from like the middle of December to after the first.
Okay. And he was saying the same thing. Like he felt like he ain't want to come back.
Man, listen, and that's, I say that because you're driving a truck, and I know how I feel, and I'm sitting at a desk. Like it ain't like I got a physical job, a grueling job, and I don't want to go back. Like so, I could only imagine if I was like driving something I had to do physically all day. Like I really would be like after not doing that shit for even a week. And I had 3 weeks, so even a week, I'll be like, nah, I'm changing careers. I'll be like, fuck that.
I do. It does seem, what was I watching? People that work at home, it seems, well, you do some work from home.
Yeah, I have 2 days at home. Yeah, I work 3 days in office. And that's even worse, the fact that I don't feel like working, and I even work from home for 2 days this week. Actually, my schedule was all off this week because I had to switch my days because it snowed Monday. Yeah, so I had work from home Monday, and then I went the rest of the week, and I had a field visit yesterday. So this week was hard because when you come back from vacation, don't nobody do your job when you gone. So when you come back, it's just piles and piles of shit. And I'm a social worker for people with disabilities, so they need help. Unless something emergent comes up, they don't do your job. Don't nobody do your job. So you just be having, like I had 100 emails and gotta get through that. Like that's all my Monday was getting through my email. And then I had to go out to visit 2 of my clients. So that was Wednesday. And that was a bunch of stuff I ain't want to do. like I'm already not a people person. I posted that the other day. I'm like, damn, for somebody that's not a people person, I sure got a people-y job. Because I can't. It's a lot. Luckily, the people that I visited, they were really nice. Sometimes you don't know. Like, you don't know what you're going into. So sometimes it gets stressful. Like, go in different neighborhoods that might not want you there. Like, stuff like that. And I'm like, well, you need help. You know? So But
Oh yeah.
like you need help. So you need to be all right with me. But it's kind of crapshoot sometimes because you're visiting people that's in a vulnerable spot sometimes. So they already don't want people to come to their house, like parents and stuff. And like, so it gets hard. But shout out to my peoples. Can't say their names, but they were very good, very nice people, very, very respectful people, trying to do the best for their kids.
That always helps in the workplace when you got, kind people. Helps things go smoothly.
Yeah.
Helps your day go better.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, like, what I deal with, like, dealing with disabilities, it is a lot of people that are kind, thankfully. Like, there's a lot of, but there are some people that you're like, why are you acting like this?
Yeah.
And you know the hardships of what's going on with and I ain't talking about the person with the disabilities. It's the person, their family members or whatever. So sometimes you get people like that, and I'm like, why? But then on the other note, I do know what they're dealing with, so it does get hard. So I try to give people grace whenever, but yeah, it gets difficult at times dealing with people.
That reminds me of like I was standing at I was on the phone with a doctor's office one time, and the woman on the phone, it was like, so she was talking to another patient, right? And the patient was kind of like had a bad attitude and all of that. And then she got back on the phone with me, and I said something about it, and she was like, well, they dealing with this and this and this, these health problems and this.
Yeah.
So she was understanding.
Yeah.
Like that can cause the change in or the attitude.
I'm from the school of, no matter what you're going through, it don't give you permission to treat people like shit. But at the same time, there are big ass problems that people, in my field, and I'm sure the health field, that people be dealing with, and sometimes it's just spill over. So sometimes you just got trash people that don't matter, don't matter what, but a lot of times it is what they dealing with. So I try to give people grace. Yeah.
Yeah, that gave me a new way to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought about stuff like that, because I always say, well, I'm not the person who said it. I'm sure, I don't know who quoted it, but you never know what people dealing with. And that was always my thing, even with people just on the street. Like, you never know what they're dealing with. Like I said, I don't think that gives you, no matter what you're dealing with, it don't give you a pass to treat people like shit. But at the same time, it may be just some stuff that's spilling over. It might be you at the ends wits. So I try to give people grace. Now, if I see that they, that's just them, like, that's a different story.
Yeah, because it could be me too. I'm not, perfect. So I remember one time, like at my job, like I must have been real tired one week when I got back to the yard. Real tired. I don't know, maybe just I wasn't thinking the most positive.
Yeah.
And another person came up to me, another driver, and was talking to me. And he was telling me about something, and I just didn't say nothing. I just looked at him. I didn't want to talk. Like,
yeah, you ain't want to.
He's an older guy.
You ain't want to open up the door.
Yeah, I
done been there.
But he was like talking to me, and I wasn't responding, and I had this look on my face. And he's an older guy. He real cool. He just was like, "All right, got it."
Yo, he knew what it was. Yeah. He been around. So,
but I kind of felt like I kind of wish I would have, gave him the correct energy, even though I was feeling like that. I kind of did regret that. Like,
yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. Sometimes it's like that. Especially with sleep. Sleep and mess with your personality, man. For real.
Yeah.
What else been going on this week? Anything new?
Anything new?
Done seen anything new? Done watched anything new? Listened to anything new?
Oh, I finally seen Piece by Piece.
Oh, okay.
And it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Pharrell's movie.
Yeah.
Where he's all Legos, but it's a documentary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his story. It's a like biography.
Yeah.
It's a Lego story. It's really good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna check that out soon.
And then like, you know, and then after it went off, then like Lego has so many just documentaries about Lego, the company.
Oh yeah.
Legos.
The actual Lego company.
And then people creating with the. I didn't think I really understood Legos before. Like
No?
you can kind of create what you want with the Legos.
Yeah.
It's not just create what they
It's
made
on
it
the
to
box.
be.
Nah, you can order Legos like there's a lot of people online, even with this stuff that, cause you know I got a lot of Legos.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the stuff that like the Optimus Prime, the Lego Optimus Prime,
Mm-hmm.
there's a community online that made the trailer, and it opens and they got the they put the instructions, like they wrote the instructions out how to do it
Mm-hmm.
and all the pieces you need and what you need to order. Like it's wild. And you can just go on the Lego website and just order whatever pieces you need. I don't know how much they are. They're probably expensive, but it's probably cheaper than buying a set. So, and they done made the Optimus Prime better. I'm like, yo, how the designers, the Lego people, that made this thing, and then the people online that made it better, made the face look better, made the ears, like some of the features on the arms better, so the arms can move more. Like it's crazy the stuff that people come up with. And it's actually wild because a lot of these people were young, you know, young, got the mental capacity, and yeah, they be like engineers basically.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because in the documentary, one guy built the whole city because he was making a movie. He makes Lego movies.
Oh, that's dope.
And so it's kind of like I was thinking that it's kind of like engineering.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Lego bricks, but shoot, they wouldn't be too far from. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it would be a lot differences as far as structurally sound stuff, but I'm sure they could grasp that. You know what I mean? Like people that do that, it's the same type of mechanism in your brain. So if they went to engineering school or whatever, or went to school for engineering, and I'm sure they could grasp that building stuff like quick. So man,
yeah, it was interesting watching those documentaries. Like
you fell into a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
that's what happens sometimes. That's the algorithm.
Yeah,
what you was watching it on?
Prime Video.
Oh, okay. Is it free on Prime?
Yeah.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was free. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh wait, no.
Oh, you paid for it?
Yeah,
You don't pay for a lot of stuff.
I went ahead and bought it.
Oh, you don't pay for a lot of stuff.
I wanted
So
to support.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was only like $15.
yeah, I buy stuff all the time, but I wasn't sure if it's free. I don't buy it, but because I get burned sometimes because I buy stuff on what's that place? Voodoo, not Voodoo. It's called Fandango now. Like I buy stuff on there sometimes, and then it'll be on Max like 2 weeks later. I'm like, damn it. That's why. That's why I didn't buy Gladiator 2 because I'm like, I think it's gonna come on Paramount. Maybe I think Paramount made it. I don't know if Paramount made it. Whoever makes it, usually you can tell because it's gonna be on their service. Like Warner Brothers is HBO, so if Warner Brothers makes it, usually it's gonna be on Max.
Okay.
And shortly after it comes on streaming, it's gonna be on Max for free. So stuff like that, like Paramount Plus, of course, if Paramount makes it, anything like that. So I don't know who made that. You know who made that? Sony? Did Sony make that?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but
but
I would buy
I think
it.
it's Universal.
Universal.
I think it's Universal.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think maybe that's Paramount. I don't know. I have to look. But yeah, that's cool.
I wanted to support it because I didn't go see it when it was in the theater.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people did.
I mean, and I wanted to.
Yeah, just didn't get around to it.
Yeah,
but I think you and me would have went.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, but I was saying to you because you said it didn't get a lot of box office support.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't know. I kind of figured that because I don't think there's a whole lot of people going to the movies, period, these days. And I don't think it's a whole lot of people that want to go see a documentary, period, in the movies. Mm-hmm. Like I would go see a documentary in the movies, but then to have it a documentary and be Legos, I think the Lego, I love the Lego movies, mm-hmm. but I think that adds another layer. They probably got more people to go mm-hmm. than what they would have if it was just a straight documentary. Mm-hmm. But still, I don't see a lot of people going to see documentaries, no matter what, like in the movies. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many documentaries came out in the movies. Yeah. In the last, there's been a few because I've went and saw a few, but yeah, I don't know how many. Like I said, people are, and it's the economy now too. Like people are very choosy what they go to movies to see because movies are expensive as shit. And most people only go to movies to see action movies now. Mm-hmm. Oh, like big blockbusters. That's where all the money is because it's been there's a lot of independent films coming out, like or a lot of smaller budgeted films that are dramas and stuff. I see them all the time, and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. But I don't go to movies to see them because I only go for action movies. Mm-hmm. Not saying I'm the full scope of the movie goers, but I think there's a lot of people like that mm-hmm. that nowadays that only go for certain movies, and it's got to be like a big budget blockbuster with people that they know in order to pay those movie prices. Mm-hmm. But it's cool. I'm glad it's out on streaming though. I might buy it and check it out.
The only reason money was tight around that time, that's why I didn't go to the movies to see it.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's tight for a lot of people. So,
but yeah, I hope
my bad.
I hope it does well on streaming. Sales and streaming, like, sales now that it's streaming.
Yeah. Transformers didn't do well either.
Did it?
But I don't know how well it did since it's been out streaming. Okay. And since it's been out, where you could buy it. I bought it and I streamed it a couple times. I bought it and then watched it on, I think Paramount Plus has it. Is it Paramount Plus? Somewhere I had it for free and I watched it on there too.
As the movie goes, it's really good. Like it's the Lego part is. It's entertaining. It adds something to it because it's like it shows visuals and stuff.
You couldn't do in a regular documentary. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. Because the Lego movies are I'm sure it's done the same way as the Lego movies. You watch some of the Lego movies?
Oh yeah, I've watched a Lego movie before.
Yeah, like they're very creative, and it's like Legos. That's what I like. Like every element of Legos is in the Lego movies. Like you can tell they're Legos.
Yeah.
Like, so it's cool to me. All that shit they build. I even play the Lego video games, mm-hmm. which is dope because you can build you build stuff.
Well, I think I might have played a Lego game before. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I play the Marvel Lego video games, Batman.
Oh yeah, I played that.
DC, yeah, Batman movie, because that's really, I think the Batman Lego came out before the movie.
One thing that stood out to me, I like that they kept in there when they got to the portion of the movie that's about the song "All Right" with Kendrick Lamar. It kept that line in there, and we hate Popo. One of the Killers Dead in the Street Folk show, like that was in there. I like that they kept.
Thought they wasn't gonna keep it.
I don't know, like. I don't know. Because it's a movie. It's you trying to appeal to people and get people to watch the movie and all of this.
But it's a documentary.
But they kept, yeah. But
I wouldn't think they would take it out.
Even with the affiliation with Lego and these different companies, like, I don't know.
Because if that's the case, they could take out a bunch of shit. Like they should take out a bunch of shit. Like whatever is it's like a lot of messages and stuff. I don't know what other songs were in there. Well,
no, but see, they did a pretty good job of like, there's kind of like no cussing in it. I don't know if there's any cussing or like when the songs come on, like they did a good job of playing the song and giving you the feel of the song without getting too deep into any lyrics that were like explicit.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even that part is not explicit.
No,
that's just the
it's
truth.
not explicit. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not explicit.
It's
It's a lot of good stuff in there. just from like his grandma noticing he was beating on pillows and stuff like that, to like buying him like a drum or a drum set, to like suggesting him join the music class, you know, join the band or the choir or something. Like, I think that stuff is important, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And then like just the thought of like, wow, like out of nowhere, one day Teddy Riley just builds a studio in your hometown. It's a talent show. I forget whether he put on the talent. He was behind the talent show. He might have been, and so he was watching. And NERD basically performed.
Oh, okay.
Pharrell, Chad, and Shay.
Who?
Shay.
Nah,
Yeah.
that ain't who I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, but they would perform, and then like Teddy Riley wanted to work with them.
Yeah, that's dope. Just kind of like Rodney Jerkins like build his studio in Pleasantville.
Oh,
Like dang. Like somebody that, you know, with that many hits under his belt.
mm-hmm.
I mean, he's from Pleasantville, but yeah, like he eventually moved though because he said it was too much. Like too many people were trying to hit him up, and I guess it got overwhelming.
Did anybody get on out of that?
I think there was a few people. Well, Gina Thompson.
Okay.
I'm not sure if she got on before or after she worked with him. Yeah, I don't want to misquote.
Was that song a result of her working with him? The things you do.
I don't think but I think she worked with him before. But yeah, I think that was more.
Oh, that's
more
when she did the hee how
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Yeah, Gina.
Dang, she was from
Violent.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's from Violent.
round all the way.
Yep.
Couple people. That
Yeah, I mean,
got
I
on from
knew
Round All
her.
the Way,
I
right?
know her. I just say I haven't talked to her in a long time, but it was we had some talent around there.
I think that's the first time I heard Missy on that song.
I think it might have been one of them, one of the first times, because I think she got on before Missy. I'm trying to think of the dates, but yeah, so that's dope. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. Trump got sentenced today.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
What was the sentence?
Unconditional sentence or unconditional something. I don't know. I mean, he ain't going to jail, of course. I ain't think he would, but I can't remember how they put it. Or maybe unconditional discharge. That's what it was. So he'll enter the White House as a felon.
What does that mean? Unconditional discharge.
I have no idea. Like unconditional discharge.
I'm trying to be mature.
You know what? It allows him to avoid any prison time, fines, probation, or any other punishment.
Because he's the president.
Yeah. That's why they waited to sentence him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they said they were waiting because they didn't want to affect the outcome of the president, which I can see somewhat, but at the same time, I'm like, that's wild. And that's what Josh Johnson say that? It was like, I ain't never been in that much trouble where I gotta be the president. Like, he is like, I gotta be the president. Like, I gotta win the presidency. I might go to jail. Like, that's wild to be in that much trouble. So yeah, but that's what it was. Truly extraordinary case. So the judge said. But Trump put it a little differently. Of course, he said it's a very terrible experience. Everybody's mad at why everybody mad at Obama? Because he was sitting next to Trump and they were laughing. I'm like, what the fuck do you want him to do? Mm-hmm. You want him to slap him in the middle of a funeral? You want him to not talk to him at all? Like Trump was saying stuff to him and They were talking, and they're seated. It ain't like he sat next to him. They're seated by presidency. Like at the funeral, they were seated by presidency. So it was like Bill Clinton, Bush, well, Obama, then Trump. And like Trump was saying something, Obama was laughing. Like, I mean, it looked like a cordial thing. Like it's cordial. Like, I don't know. Some people though at the funeral wouldn't shake Trump's hand. So maybe they wanted him to do that. But I'm like, you sitting at a funeral? You ever been to a funeral? Like, you gonna sit there mad the whole 2 hours or whatever, especially a presidential funeral? It was for Jimmy Carter. Man, I'm like, you can't do nothing. Like, people just be always, and then you had the other side like, see, they like each other. Like, that ain't got shit to do with it. Like, they're both presidents, whether you like it or not. But yeah, that was wild to me that people was really like, see, it's just, and it is. I mean, it is. Politics is WWE, but that's politics. Like, he was being cordial. Like, that's part of politics. Like, that whole thing was political. All those politicians there, like, it was nothing he could do.
Well, I wonder too if, like, Donald Trump is the president now. I wonder too is the way is not to make an enemy or to cut off communication. You might want to still communicate with the person. Maybe you can influence the person.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing I look at. Like, people, like, even though it is what it is, and I ain't fucking with people that are cool with him, that wanted him to be president. Like, I don't fuck with them. But at the same time, we're different. Like, I think people on this side is different because I don't want him to fail, because if he fails, it's everybody failing. Like, I don't want him to do crazy shit. I would like somebody to be there to talk to him, to talk him out of some crazy shit. I hope there's somebody in that cabinet. It don't look like it, but I never understood that. Like, I'm not wishing failure on this man. Like, I'm not, as much as I hate him, as much as I don't like him, he's the president now, or going to be the president when he gets sworn in. And like I said, he fails, it's bad for everybody. Like, there's a lot of people that's like, see, and I understand that. I understand being like, see, but at the same time, I'm not the person. I don't want to be the person and be like, look at this shit. Because it's all of us. like, it's like being on a boat. Like, we're on a boat right now. So if I might not like the captain, but I'm not gonna put a hole in the boat to fucking spite him. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. So I get what you're saying, and I agree. Like, maybe he will. I don't think Trump would. Like, if anybody would, Trump would be the one to be like, nah, I ain't talking to him. At the funeral, it's one thing, but again, Trump was being just as political. I'm sure, but I haven't heard anything, but I'm sure there's people on his side that are like, why are you talking to him? Why are you talking to that black man? Like, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, he is, and they were like, why is he laughing? He probably told a funny joke. The bitch is funny. Like, that's one thing. Trump is a fucking funny dude. And he's, which is how he won these people, by lying. He's very charismatic. Is that how you say it?
Charismatic?
Charismatic?
Yeah, charismatic.
I can't say that word.
Charismatic.
Yeah. He's that. Yeah. He is that. Like, as much as you don't like him, as much as he says dumb ass shit, he does have that type of, where that's how he got these people now. Like, he say whatever the fuck is on his mind, and people like that. And whether he believes it or not, or whether he understands what he's saying or not, that's a different story. But whatever you think, he does do that. And I mean, he probably says some funny shit. So Obama ain't nothing else to do but laugh. And that's all the political news. I'm not going to talk about too much else. I don't really want to get into it. But what you think about the fires, man, in LA? That stuff is crazy.
Yeah, that's I was checking it out or looking at the reports, and I wonder how they start. You know?
Yeah, well, they said they may. I know it's all types of conspiracy theories that I don't believe. People like lasers from space and all types of shit that I just think they're fucking nuts. Like, you're nuts. But there is somebody, I think, starting the fires or being negligent. And that's what happens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, people losing their whole, like Janae Aiko said, her house burned down.
Yeah.
All of their stuff was in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and there's some people out there, like Chuck D had posted, because people was using their song, Public Enemy song, Burn Hollywood Burn. And he's like, and I'm glad he posted. He said this song ain't got shit. Is a protest song. It ain't got shit to do with people losing their whole life.
Yeah,
like that's not what this is for. Like, why are y'all using it for this? Like, everybody in LA ain't evil. Everybody in LA ain't rich. Like, people hear $1 million homes. In LA, there's a different living standard. Like, there might be a person with $1 million home that's living that's middle class in certain areas. Because that's just what it is. They done got a loan, they paying on it for years, and they had to pay $1 million to get a house. Like, that's just it. But I mean, there are a lot of rich people too that it's affecting. But just because you're rich, don't mean you're fucking evil. Like I say billionaires, that's different. That's different. But I still wouldn't wish their house to burn down with all their shit in it and their whole livelihood. Now they had more means to rebuild, but there's a person, I guarantee you, the person that's got a house for $1 million, if they've been living there for 20 years, they didn't pay $1 million for that house, for one. Two, because they've been living there for 20 years, they're not gonna be able to rebuild because they're not gonna have enough money to rebuild that house there, because it's gonna be so much. Now that's the thing that people need to look at. Now, that's not a conspiracy theory. There are gonna be people coming in to these burnt down areas and buying up shit cheap, probably corporations. That's real. That's some real shit that people do. Now, I don't think they burn their shit down to do this. Like, some people feel like they burned everybody's shit down to do just this. No, I think they're capitalists. And that's what capitalism is. Like, they capitalize off of this disaster by any means necessary. So I think their morals may be unbalanced, but I don't think that they started all these fires just to do this. I just don't believe that. But I do know that it's happening, and it will happen. Like, it will. I follow dude. I've been following him for John Hicks. Shout out to John Hicks. He's on YouTube, and he rides bikes around Los Angeles. He lives in Los Angeles. So that's what he do. He just does vlogs. He just rides all around and just does vlogs. Normally it's normal. But last night he rode around all LA. Yo, it's insane. That shit was looking like the apocalypse. And he got like 1.2 million views on his video in like 2 hours because of, I think, how powerful it is. Because he's just got a camera. He just wears a camera on his chest, like a GoPro or whatever. I don't know what kind of camera it is. And he just rides around. That's what he does all the time in his vlogs, and just talks about different things and shows different areas of LA, bad areas, good areas, whatever. But last night it was different because he was like in a fire. Like, it was fires burning next to him, like where he was riding, and you seen the cops trying to evacuate people, and then the traffic, it was just cars everywhere trying to get out, and he's just riding a bike through all this shit. And I was like, yo, a lot of people was leaving comments like, I don't know how the news survives with YouTube, because this is real. Like, this is what people don't see. And this is what makes change. And it does. This is what makes change when people see it. It's I always said that it's kind of like Vietnam. Like, Vietnam was the first war that was on TV, really. It was the first time TV was prevalent, and a lot of people had TV, and that's what stopped the war. Really, that's what caused the protests, because people saw it. Yeah, people ain't see war before. That they ain't see how horrific it is, how terrible it is. Like, they was filming over there, like they was making movies, and it was on the news. So that got people motivated and got people mobile. So That's just one, but I seen a few. This other dude was on a bike. It was a house burning, and he's like, "What the fuck?" So he got out his bike and ran. It was a hose right there. He's like, "It's a hose right here." So he grabbed the hose and he put it out. But it was like a fire coming out of the roof, and he's like, "Man, it must be a fire in the attic." So he like hooked the hose up. He tied the hose up and pointed it there and just turned it on. And it was just like shooting into the attic there. And he's like, "I don't know what it's gonna do," but he put out a lot of the fire. Like outside, it would have. And everybody was like, "Damn, yo, you saved that whole house and probably the whole neighborhood." And who knows what the fire was inside? But I guess he called the people, I guess whoever he could call, because it's probably congested. Probably can't call nobody. That's the other scary thing. Like it's so many calls, so many people trying to get help that you probably can't get through to nobody if you call for help. Definitely ain't getting no fire department. They ain't coming just to your house. Like they got shit to deal with. Like they dealing with shit.
Is it everywhere in?
It's like 6 fires right now, 6 areas that's burning. Okay. But the Palisades, Malibu, it's a lot. Like that whole area was like decimated. So it was like destruction. But there's a lot of areas that's getting all the news because that's the rich areas. That's where all the like movie stars and stuff like that and people that got money and dentists and I seen dude that does LASIK surgery. I'm like, man, it must be cool to be a mediocre white dude because he does LASIK surgery. And I'm not saying that's not a worthy profession, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't get paid. But I was like, damn, you doing that, and your house is like $28 million. Like, man,
wow.
And because his shit burned down, and he was saying that it was the mayor's fault. And he's like, it's the mayor's fault, and she's unqualified because he's for the other guy, I guess, the Republican candidate or whoever. And somebody ran it down, like how much experience she has in the fire chief. Like one of the fire chiefs, the first LGBTQ person to be a fire chief, but she's been a fireman for like 22 years, and she moved up the ranks. So it ain't like, but they keep calling her DEI hire, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. That's gotta be crazy to deal with. Like, you're a black woman, you gay, you getting hate. Like you just getting hate for no reason. Like you a DEI hire, no matter how much experience you got.
Her job,
yeah, no matter how.
Like her being gay don't got nothing to do with
nah. But they're saying because she black and gay, that was like a double strike for division and inclusion. But I'm like, she's qualified though. That's what people don't understand. Like she's qualified.
Yeah,
that's what they were saying about Kamala. Like she's DI. I'm like, she's qualified. She's more qualified than you, and you saying that.
That's interesting. So that's interesting. So basically they're saying that for it not to be that, then the person has to be like not of color.
Yeah, basically that's what they're saying. That's what they say, and when they say that, like every single person that's of color is a DEI hire, and that's what they're so stupid. Like they don't understand what they're saying even. And I'm like, for a person to be so book smart, you're just stupid. Or you're dumb. Because
who would do that? Who would just for that reason give somebody that job for them reasons?
But that's what they're saying because of equality and inclusion, and them being required to have a certain amount of people of color in this job market. But that don't mean we just hiring anybody of color. Yeah. Like even if they have a regulation where they have a certain amount of people of color, they're going to hire people that are of experience or whatever, like her. They often the black people have more experience and more knowledge than the other people they hire. They hire mediocre as white people, but the black person got to be 20, like I said, 22 years of experience, fucking and she a woman, like she gotta have all types of shit. Like 22 years experience. She was a grunt. She was a volunteer. She did everything to rise up the rank in 22 years. I'm sure it's a man, probably a white man in there that probably was been there for 5 years. Probably the person next under her been there for like 5 years, just fresh out of school or whatever, and getting promoted, and but they want to say that's a DEI hire because it's a person of color or of whatever. So yeah, it's just dumb. It's dumb. It don't make sense.
Because
it's along with
something
everything
went
else.
wrong. So
yeah, because they don't have enough. Well, they were blaming the mayor because of the lack of fire people.
Okay.
But they cut, and I don't know if it was her. Like it could have been the governor, it could have been whoever does the budget of California. Like which I'm sure it's not one person, it's the governor and other people, but they cut so many people from the fire department and gave it to the police, like the money.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, there you go. But at the same time, that money that they cut, that ain't the reason these fires are burning out of control.
Yeah.
And that shit wouldn't have mattered.
And they ain't got nothing to do with her.
No. They ain't got nothing to do with her. But, you know, I stopped trying to rationalize because people just say shit. They don't know what they're talking about. I don't care how educated you are. Like, that's the thing. I don't care what job you got or how educated you are. When I hear you say stuff like that, I know you're dumb. Like, you don't have a brain. You don't think. Like, you might be book smart. You might know your job, but you're stupid. Like, you're stupid when you say stuff like that. So, I mean, it just is what it is. What you think about the? I have an issue.
Because I'm thinking about that even more. Because it's like they're saying. That's like they're saying a white person would do the job better just because.
But that's what they're saying. In not so many terms, that's what they're saying.
Okay.
Like, I have yet to see a person. Like, that's it. Like, if you're calling somebody a DEI hire, you're being disparaging to them, saying that they don't know how to do their job, and it could be true. You could not know how to do your job. I don't think that's the case with her.
Yeah.
But it could be a person that just don't know how to do their job. But guess what? I'm sure there's another mediocre white person that don't know how to do their job either in there. What you gonna call them? Like, just a hire. They're just a hire because that's all you do is hire them. So, and they want to cut it out. Like, they want to cut it out. It ain't gonna be nobody. And I guarantee the shit will go down. There is, and I don't know. Well, it is an issue to me. I know a lot of people don't care for criminals or inmates, but there's like 40% of the firefighters are inmates that are in this minimum security prison that they've been trained to fight fires. They make like 5 something a day, and that's it. There's like modern day slavery, which, I mean, 13th Amendment. You can be a slave if you're incarcerated. That's what 13th Amendment is. I know a lot of people don't know that. Like, slavery was abolished. Besides that, like, it says it in there. That's the only time you can basically work for free, is if you're an inmate. And that's what they do. That's why these private prisons, they're making money. Like, you best believe they paying them 5 something a day, $5 to $10 or something a day, I think, or an hour. I don't know what it is, but they don't see that money for one. I think they get a little bit of it. And I think they're charging the city money, way more money than that, for the program to have them do that. So you got these people out here fighting these fires. They've been trained, and they just out here fighting these fires for this cheap. I don't even think they may get some time off their sentence. I hope they would get some time off their sentence, because it's not violent criminals. They're not eligible for this program, the violent criminals. And so it's non-violent criminals that whatever they did, I don't care what they did. They're non-violent criminals. So, and the other part of that I hate is they won't ever be able to be a fireman when they get out of prison because of their record. So, which is wild to me that they can do this. They've been trained. You're saying you need firemen, but when they get out of prison, oh, nah, we can't hire you. You can work for free, but we can't pay you. You can be out here roaming, whatever. I don't know what type of supervision they got. And I haven't heard anything. Like, nobody's tried to run off. People been doing their job, doing what they're supposed to do, trying to help, trying to fight these fires and put them out. But as soon as you go back to prison and as soon as you get out, oh, nah, we can't hire you here. Like, to me, it seems like the program should be set up to where when they get out, they could be the first people hired for firemen or whatever that's really how the program should work. Like the prison program, all these work release programs, it'd be slavery, basically free labor. People pay to get that free labor.
Well, let me ask you this: what can the government do to come in and help put these fires out? Like, if they're lacking resources, like, I'm thinking of, okay, drop some water on the you know what I mean?
Oh, that's what they do. They got helicopters. They got all that stuff. And actually, I saw a perfect drop the other day.
Okay.
And dude picked up, like, they go into the ocean. Well, they don't. They were running out of water. It depends on where the fire is. You can't put ocean water on grass.
Okay.
Like, you put salt water on foliage and nothing won't grow. So that's why they don't use salt water, because they were running out of water. Yeah. And people kept asking, like, well, you see, like, in New York, the boats, they spray and they just put the holes in the water and then they spray. But I'm like, that's the coastline. Like, there's nothing growing there. They're not growing anything in New York there to eat. Like, these are places you're probably getting most of your produce from California. So they can't just drop salt water on the fire.
Okay. Because
it'll dead all the fucking nutrients in the ground and shit won't grow. I don't think a lot of people know that.
But this is like.
But they were running out of, like, fire hydrants and stuff was running out of water. So, but the helicopters go fill them up with water. Then they go and drop water. They drop fire retardant and like, it's this orange stuff that won't burn. So they've been dropping that too over, like, people's houses and stuff. And
is that the city? Is that the?
Yeah, that's the state. Like,
okay,
like the whole state. States are. That's why I was trying to explain to somebody in Canada. Like, it's like 50 countries. The United States is like 50 countries because everybody does something different. So the only time, if you release, I haven't heard anything. I'm sure they're going to get federal aid too.
Yeah.
So that's the aid that comes from the government to help out. They may have already gotten that. I don't know, but I do know they still need a lot of resources. And they still need a lot of stuff. I donated to the fire. It was like an on ground thing, because I'm careful where I donate now. Because I used to donate to Red Cross all the time, and I don't know everything about the Red Cross, but I do know they have a lot of operating costs. So a lot of your money don't get to where it needs to go. And I'm not trying to bash Red Cross, because I'm sure there's people that work in there that try to do good and try to do what they need to do, but the money just don't make it where it needs to make it. So I like to donate to on the ground organizations that I know are doing stuff. And even then you don't know, but I feel better about it. Yeah. So, but yeah, they need some resources. It's terrible. Like, the devastation I saw in John Hicks' video was insane. I never seen anything like that, like, up close. Like, I watch on the news, it shows the fires from afar, like the helicopters are looking and you see the fires, which in itself is crazy. Like, just to see at night, it's like orange and it's smoke. That's the other thing. The smoke is the deadliest part of fire, unless you get the fire on you, but the smoke will kill you before a fire even touch you in every instance, because building materials are not great. So if you're out there, please get a respirator mask, not just one of the COVID masks, like one of those masks to paint with. That's what you got to wear, and with the filters in it. I mean, even then, it's going to be some, but if you seal it right, and listen, I don't care what you look like, just walk around with that shit on. I hate to see it. I don't care how much money them people got. Some of them. Now, you know, I feel bad for everybody, but I do know some of them people are going to be able to recover. You know, they can't recover their shit, they sentimental stuff. So that's still sad, but I do know some of them will be able to rebuild, but a lot of people won't. A lot of people ain't got the money to. And the insurance companies. Insurance been in the news lately due to Luigi. But yeah, that's they cut off, I think, the fire insurance. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard, but I don't know how true it
is. Yeah, I didn't do enough research.
Yeah.
Like they said like a week, and that's where a lot of conspiracies came from too. Cause they're like, why? How they knew? Like how they knew? They cut them off like a week ago. I don't know how true that is. People just say shit on the internet. They could have cut them off because insurance companies do that. Like insurance companies just send you a letter like, we can't insure you no more. They did that to my dad. They were like, your house is too old. We're not going to insure you no more. Just out the blue, like 2 weeks ago. Just sent him a letter. It was like, you ain't got homeowners insurance no more because your house too old. We don't want to pay for nothing because shit bound to happen now. Like that's basically what they said. The insurance company is full of shit. But yeah, like I said, I don't know how true. I didn't do any research on that, so I don't really want to say yay or nay because I don't know the circumstances behind it. But that's where a lot of conspiracies came from. They're like, why he did it a week ago? But somebody could have just been like, oh, my insurance got cut off a week ago, and then then somebody else is like, yeah, everybody's insurance got cut off a week ago. Like that's what happens. Yeah. And people there could be like, my insurance ain't get cut off a week ago. What are you talking about? I don't know what they talking. I don't know. Just go on about their business. Don't correct them.
Yeah,
that's the internet, man. That's the internet. You got research everything. People don't. People just go with it. They see one video and they be like, oh, and then they repeat it. Then you got 12 other people repeating it. Then they get traction. They're like, oh, if I talk about this, then I get some views too. So then they start repeating the shit. Before you know it, it's out of control and ain't even true.
Yeah, I don't just like to run with stuff.
Nah.
I think it may be attributed to groupthink and people being scared to say something because they're scared of being canceled for saying something opposing to what's popular think. No, but system, you speak, and a lot of people speak to like he's guilty of everything.
I didn't say like everything.
He's the devil.
I didn't say everything, but I do think he's evil.
We talking about Diddy right now.
Yeah, Diddy. Yeah, I do think he's an evil person. I don't know of everything because I do know people are trying to capitalize, and they will because I know people. You know what I mean? But I believe a lot of it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and him even more so than Jay. Like I believe a lot of it.
I don't.
Just how I've seen him, just how I've seen him conduct himself in certain situations, where I'm like, and just knowing how he conducts himself in business. Like you gotta have some moral ambiguity. Like your morals ain't there with certain things. And people, rich people, anyway, feel like they're untouchable. So when you have that moral kind of iffiness, and you rich, that's a bad combination. Now I don't believe, like I said, I don't believe everybody because I know there's people out there that's gonna try to capitalize on it. Strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, this is very interesting. This because like Donald Trump, right? So he was convicted of he was ruled liable for sexual abuse.
Yes. Yeah.
And
he should be right next to Diddy.
But I was thinking like, how does he become president like this? But then I heard that he said, who is, I don't know who this woman is. And then I'm like, well, how do I know that that's not true?
I mean, he might not. But the thing is, when you conduct yourself a certain way, And we all know what he done said behind closed doors when he didn't think he was being recorded. Like, when you conduct yourself a certain way, you might offend people or do something that's illegal or sexually abuse somebody, and you don't even look at it like he might not even be looking at it like that. Like when he said, I can grab him by the pussy, and they don't even do nothing. Like, even saying that, like, just having that type of moral thing in you where you feel like you can do that and won't nobody say anything to you because of who you are. That's what that is. That's what that is. Like, he might not even think twice about this woman, and he don't even remember. Like,
what was the context?
Who knows?
What was the context of him saying that?
What?
Grab him by the pussy.
Oh, he was talking with one of his boys.
But what was
it was like the models. He was talking about the models. He was like, "Yeah, I'll be in the dressing room with the models or whatever." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "I they know who I am. I can grab them by the pussy. They won't even do nothing." Like I'm like, all right, so you can sexually abuse these models in this dressing room because of who you are. That is, that's the definition. Like, he 100% should be in jail.
And so it was his friend that recorded him saying,
I don't know I think it was the dude. I think it was, they're associates, whatever. I don't know if they was really friends, but Trump say anything. Like, he don't even care. He don't even see a problem with that. Really. That's how you know, like, you're mentally off. Like, you don't see an issue with what you just said when that's the definition of abuse. Like, you touching somebody in a private area.
Well, I just brought up that to say, like, you're saying because of his other actions, like, somebody could put something on him and it couldn't be true. He could not know her, but because of his other things he said, that, people could be liable to believe it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, because of how he conducted himself, period.
But that's not justice.
I ain't saying it's justice or injustice. I'm just saying
that's injustice.
How you
for him to be, if it's not true, if he don't know who the woman is, if he never even met her.
No, I'm not saying he don't know or never met her. I'm saying he don't know her because he just don't look at her as anything. Like, it could have been a passing by, somebody that he don't.
I didn't take it like that. I took
he's
it like
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he lies so much. I don't believe him that he don't know this woman. Like, I don't believe him, and that's the other thing. When you demonstrate a pattern, it's just like in court. Like, you can't be a witness if you are a drug addict. Like, you can't be, and I'm not saying a drug addict wouldn't see something and remember it. It's just how it's perceived. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, you can't be a witness if there's certain things about you that people feel like are immoral or you conduct yourself a certain way. So it's the same way with him. Like, he's a liar. He lies all the time. I'm talking about Trump. He lies all the time. He says shit that ain't true. He's always just like, whatever. I can do whatever I want. And that stuff will make it more believable when somebody says something. Also, the other issues that he's gotten himself into that are true could make you, feel like, because he got 38 convictions or 34 convictions. Like, it's not just that one thing. Like, he got convictions for lying on the stand. Well, I don't know if it's perjury, but he lied about paying the porn star while he's married, paying her hush money. He lied about, like it just shows a pattern.
Yeah.
So people will be like, well, he's lying about this too, even if it was true.
So I would think that there was some sort of evidence or some sort of, for them to make that ruling.
I mean, yeah, they went to court and all.
I might have to research that to see, but
and if and the biggest evidence, I don't know if that happened, but the biggest evidence would be if he paid her. If she could prove that she came to him and was like, give me money. I'm gonna tell everybody. Even if she did that, which is not the greatest thing to do for your cause, but at the same time, they can still use that to say, yeah, that happened. If you paid her, if she told you this and you paid her, yeah, well, we can deduce that must have happened then. So you can still be liable for a crime. Like it doesn't take your criminality away, like, it being a crime.
So I think I saw on a news clip that the jury decided that it was liable. He was liable for sexual abuse and not rape because the victim was unsure. She knew he had. Well, she said that he penetrated her with his hand. Mm-hmm. And then at some point she said, it seemed like they were saying she was unsure if he penetrated her with his penis or not. Now, to me, either situation is rape.
Yeah, technically.
But
from the way the law is, and that's probably because of it being mostly women that it happens to. So the law ain't, because he should be in jail right now. Like technically, like it's both rape to me too. But
this was
the way the laws are, yeah. The way because it's just, well, that's one of the reasons maybe why he didn't go to jail, because it wasn't criminal. Mm-hmm. It was civil. So he just was found liable. It's kind of like when they found OJ liable for the deaths of
that. Yeah, that didn't make sense to me.
I mean, it does because
he was found not guilty.
Yeah, but this is a separate thing. And if all the evidence, I mean, there was mad evidence in that. I just think the prosecution didn't do a good job. So he got found not guilty because of how the law is. The law actually, and I think that's why a lot of people were happy. They didn't necessarily believe he didn't do it, but they were happy because the law actually worked, because there were just a slight doubt. And the law is on the books is if there's a slight doubt, it's got to be no. Mm-hmm. If there's one little slight doubt and the prosecutor fucked up and they had this racist ass dude cop that was on the stand, and I think that's what killed their case. Not only that, they went about it wrong, and Johnny Cochran's a beast. So, I mean, that all that combined. However, they can still hear all that evidence and say, oh yeah, even though he can't be tried again for the murder because it's double jeopardy, there's nothing you can do about that. But yeah, we feel like he did it, so he's responsible for it. So he got to pay.
That don't seem right to me. That never seemed right to me. Like,
it is right though. I mean, it's the way the law.
Right, but that don't mean it's right.
No, I think it's right. I think it's a good law. I think it's correct the way it is.
For you to
just
be
because
found,
you're not guilty in the court in a law case doesn't mean you didn't do it, and vice versa. When you get found guilty, doesn't mean you didn't do it. Okay, there's a lot of people in jail that's not guilty.
But also, if you're found not guilty, it could mean you didn't do it, and then
it could
for the turnaround and be found guilty,
but you still got to go through the law. Like, you still got to hear all the evidence. If the evidence is enough, the evidence was enough there to find him guilty, but people followed the letter of the law, which doesn't happen a lot, especially for us. But people follow the letter of the law. There was one little bit of doubt that they introduced. So if there was one little bit of doubt, by the letter of the law, you're supposed, now this don't happen a lot. That's why, like, when there's overwhelming evidence of yes, even if there's a little bit of doubt, some people, the jury still won't look at that. Now that's not how it's supposed to go. Like that trial was a textbook trial where I believe he 100% did it. There was mad evidence that he did it.
Well, what do you think about, like, stuff that's come out, like there was a serial killer around that time.
Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit too that come out. You got to research a lot of that shit because I seen the documentary and it was a lot of false shit in that documentary that I saw about a lot of that shit, and it just didn't make sense. I mean, they'll say a lot of stuff. They did a lot of mental gymnastics to make him not guilty, but I 100% believe he did it, and I just think the trial wasn't like handled correct, and the jury did exactly what they were supposed to do. This is what happens if you can't prove it 100% of it, and I agree with that. Like with everything, that's how trials should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, it was the opposite. You know, it was for us. Usually that happens for other people, not us, but. That's one of the reasons why I think everybody was excited too, because they knew. Like don't nobody get excited like that, but they knew like we got one, like we got away with one. But in a civil case, all the same evidence is heard, and it's overwhelming. So the judge or the jury or whoever, I'm not sure if there's a jury. I'm not sure. It might be a jury depending on how much money it is. I don't know. I need to research that. I don't know if there was a jury or not, or if it was just a judge. There's cases where even if you didn't actually do it, you can still be liable for causing it to happen. Like depending on what the case is or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a lot of those cases.
Like what they did with Tupac.
Yeah, because he was in the room, and he said that like he didn't know what was happening, or he was in the next room or whatever, but he was there.
But then now I think about it, I don't know if I agree with that. How's he? If they did it,
well, I think they railroaded him somewhat.
Yeah,
but I understand what. And the thing is, I understand all of the laws, like what it is, and if the system worked correctly, it makes sense. But the system don't work correctly a lot of the times. But what was, because you are liable, you should go to jail. If you know, and now I wasn't there. I don't know if he knew what they was doing or whatever, but. If you're in a room with somebody and somebody sexually assaulting somebody, even if you think it's not right, like you probably should stop them.
I'm just thinking about the story he told. From the story he told.
I know what he told. Yeah, I know the story he told. Like he said they was in the room or whatever, and he didn't know what they was doing.
He went in the other room.
Yeah, he was in the other room and went to sleep or whatever. And that could very well be.
But he said he felt like he should have made sure she was out of the room.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and that's what happens sometimes. I mean, that's a gray area, but I do think people don't, look at stuff like that. Like people don't always, and maybe the way he felt about women or something, maybe he's just like, oh, she a skeezer, whatever. So. No matter what, like even if you're in the middle of the act and the girl tells you to stop, like stop and get up.
Even if it was just to protect himself, like, nah, y'all can't.
I mean, that's the bottom.
Yeah.
That's the very bottom. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't have no moral fortitude to say, I gotta get this woman out of here so nothing happens to her. Mm-hmm. I know they be wilding a little bit. Mm-hmm. Whatever it be. If that ain't what it is, the very least should be. I got a lot of money. I can go to jail. Like I can fuck up my livelihood. So let me get this woman the fuck out of here.
Is there a scenario where he just thought these are all consenting adults? She came here to see this person.
But I mean, yeah, it could be. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been in situations where stuff like that happened. And I don't believe it was anything nefarious, and I don't think the woman does. But who knows? Later on what what might feel or what you might think. You know, I mean, a lot of times too, I don't think men understand that women can be pressured without being pressured. Like if you're in a situation and it's like 4 dudes and you're in a hotel room by yourself, I'm not saying it always happens. I'm not saying it happens a lot, but it may. You know, I hear a lot of women say that, and I think it happens a lot more than people know. Even one-on-one, you know, even one-on-one it's happened a lot where they kind of get that feeling like, well, if I don't go along with what they trying to do, it's gonna be a problem. Yeah. My mom drilled that shit into me, like consent, like for real. And that's why I think a lot of dudes don't get. Like they don't get that. They don't get that they can be intimidating. They don't get that women are a lot weaker depending on who they are. Like they may be a lot weaker than you. Like not saying women are weaker, but physically, like you might be physically opposing, and that's not your fault. But if Shaq was like, listen, what we gonna do? You know what I mean? And you 4 for 11, and you like, I don't really want to do that. And he like, come on, let's go. Come on. Why not? You know, like even though he might not feel like he's doing anything wrong, he's just being persistent. But she might be like, this motherfucker could kill me. He could snap me in half if he wanted to.
And the thing is,
I'm here by myself.
I mean, it's easier said than done. But the thing is to be like, as soon as she say, I don't want to do nothing.
All right,
yeah,
that's how I've always been. Like, and I think it's a downfall. It was somewhat a downfall because that's probably why I've never been like very aggressive. Like once it starts,
that's not a downfall.
Like like when they like it, you know what I mean? Like some women want you to be, you know, not saying aggressive, like you know, but they want you to like initiate hard, you know, and that was never me because of that. I think that's why, because I was always like, it's consent, you know. If you want to, you'll be like, oh yeah, well, maybe.
I don't know. I haven't heard this reported, but I've seen it online that it was offered to Jay-Z to just leave him out, to drop him from the case, like leave for him to be, you know, but instead he's going after Busby for extortion.
Who's that?
Jay-Z. I heard this. I haven't heard this reported by, I usually watch The Breakfast Club, or I haven't heard this reported by a news outlet, but I've heard somebody say this and I've seen it online. So I don't know how true it is that he was offered to be left out of the put back. You know how he was not mentioned in the case before? For him to be taken out of it now again. But he refused that and is instead suing Busby for extortion. So I gotta see more about that. I don't like to believe stuff unless I hear it reported.
Yeah, well, yeah. I gotta hear like 3-4 times from different sources, because even some of these blogs and stuff be reporting the wrong shit, and because everybody trying to be first, so that's why I don't know.
I like she has I'm not a lawyer, but I forget her name, but that's that's
what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the title of her YouTube channel, and you know, and I watched that, and she what she'll do is she'll read the whole, like all the documents, and then break down what they're about. I follow her. I also watch, you know, certain outlets, and if I don't hear it on there, like I don't necessarily believe it.
If I hear it on Vonnie's website, Ice Cream Combos, I know she does her due diligence, so I always wait for it to be there. I know she's trying to kind of change her format. She's trying to do more, you know, less entertainment news, and she's still gonna do entertainment news, I'm sure, but she's trying to like go do more like meaningful stories, I guess, more stuff that's going on in the community and stuff like that out in the world. And she started a new YouTube channel, so check that out, Xavier. But yeah,
And I was thinking about it. It's important that Jay-Z aggressively came out and attacked this the way he did, because
I mean, of course, would be
the opposite is if him not saying nothing, then that leaves people's minds to speculate and to imagine.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, that's what you would do. I think you would do it guilty or innocent, because if you was guilty, you would definitely.
But Diddy didn't do that initially.
Nah.
He didn't say, he wasn't saying anything, and until I think, I don't know if his lawyers was advising him not to say anything, but
probably they probably were at the end.
What I mean is, I just feel like there's some things that, I don't know. My best answer is I don't know. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true.
That's the best answer to have.
Yeah.
It's and that's what happens with people, movie stars, music stars. Like, you see R. Kelly, all the evidence, he was on video, everything. And people still was like, nah, he ain't do that shit. I'm still listening to this song. Even in the songs, he's like, yeah, cruise by the high school to get my girls on. Nah, he didn't say that, but basically that's what he was saying. Feels like your body's ready. Why are you telling a grown ass woman you don't know it, but it's ready because I know it? That shit like that. It's wild to think about. And if the person was great to you, there's people that know these people personally. How many times you hear somebody say about somebody that definitely did some bullshit? Oh, I don't know. He was never like that with me, or he was never. He was just such a great person that I always, it don't matter. It don't matter. People compartmentalize people. People compartmentalize, and I'm saying that both people compartmentalize people, victims and the people who do the crimes. They compartmentalize their lives. They're not out here trying to advertise the shit that they're doing wrong. You always hear somebody that do some shit, and then the neighbors or whatever, they're like, oh, he was such a good kid. He just came home. And I mean, I'm sure people said that shit about me. And they ain't know half the shit I was getting into in the street. I was getting into some shit. And I think about that, my parents. My own parents didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was doing mad shit I shouldn't have been doing. I ain't had no business doing it. I probably should have went to jail. The times I went, I should have went. That's just what it is. But you let my sister tell it. Let my friends that wasn't involved tell it. They'd be like, what the fuck? And I did. I got a lot of that. Because they just didn't know. And I didn't show them that. They weren't involved. So it wasn't a part of who I was around them. And that's what happens. People do that. And those people will still be like, nah. That they ain't do that. Yeah, I did. You know what I mean? This is what it was. It's a human thing too. I ain't saying it's an easy thing to do. I'm not trying to be standing on such a high moral ground. I tried to, but it's human. It's not, it's not an easy thing to do. Damn, Jimmy Carter was the longest protectee. I wonder if he had the same people on him all that time. Because that would feel like a family member pass away. Secret Service said that's the longest they ever protected somebody, Jimmy Carter. Just wild, because you get protection forever once you're president. So you have Secret Service detail forever, you and your kids, your family, period. Immediate family. That's wild to me. You just got somebody protecting you for the rest of your life. Somebody's just with you all the time. That's what Obama kids, they hated that shit. They was like, this some bullshit.
But they still...
Yeah, they still got protection. They still got detail. Cause I remember, I think they was taking pictures of her doing some, she was being a teenager. I think she was smoking or something and at a concert, and they were like, "What?" I remember that. It was like, "Security, where's the security?" The Secret Service like in the corner, like, we don't involve ourselves in what they doing. Like, it's not illegal, whatever she was doing, but.
Yeah, she was twerking or something.
That too, yeah. But she was smoking, I think.
Oh, okay.
Like, but I think she was smoking a cigarette. Like, it wasn't weed.
Okay.
And I don't even know if they would do anything if it was weed. Who knows? They done put it out. Marvel done put it out that they looking for a new Black Panther. Officially.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Officially. I know everybody keep floating what's his name? He one of my favorite actors right now. And I can't remember his name. I can remember it, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Aldous Hodge. Aldous Hodge. Let me look. Let me look it up. Can I get a pronunciation? Aldous Hodge. I don't know. Hodge. Yeah. He played Cross. He was Alex Cross. You watch Alex Cross? I think I asked you that.
No.
Yeah, you should watch that. One of the best shows on TV this year or 2025. I forgot. Last year, I should say. And the writer of the book said he the best person that ever played Alex Cross.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah, that whole show wasn't I love that show because it wasn't a single episode that had filler. Like, every episode was very entwined in the story and interesting and good. So, yeah, I was mad when I got to the last episode. I was like, damn it. It keeps saying in the reports that is a recast. So I don't know. I thought the next movie his son would be older and it would be his son. But they keep saying recast, but that could just be the people reporting.
How would they bring him back? He died in the second one.
Yeah. Like, why I keep saying it's probably just the reports. I don't know why I ain't think about that. Yeah, he's dead. Like in the movies, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead in the movies. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. I don't like how I just said he's dead, but I was talking about the movie, so I wasn't talking about him. But I ain't even think about that. Yeah, it's probably just the way people reporting. It's not a recast. It's a new era. So yeah, I think it could be wrong. Like, maybe somebody else is taking up the mantle, or maybe they are aging T'Challa up. Depending on the time frame. I'm not sure how the time frame. And also, it's getting close to Brave New World. Captain America.
February?
Yeah, February 14th.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Going to the IMAX?
Yep, I sure will. I don't know if it's going that day because that's Valentine's Day. I might be in the doghouse. Let's go to the movies and see a movie that I want to see. So I'll see it. It'll be around that time though. I gotta go.
What's the Super Bowl? The second.
Super Bowl is usually just around the 7th, but I don't know. Around the 7th, the Sunday around the 7th is the 9th. So I'm not sure if it's the 9th or if it's the 2nd. Usually it's that day around that time. It's like the week before Valentine's Day. Uh-oh. Getting ready. Yeah, man. Sort of 5 bars. Oh, sorry. But we'll see if that goes down like that. See if Lil Wayne pops up. Good. Pop out and show Nick. Yeah. Man. That's going to be a time. Well, I think we're going to wind it down and bring it to a close. Got anything in the parting words?
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of What We Thinking. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. I thought he was rapping, so smooth. Yeah, we'll see you next time, and we will get up out of here. Thanks for tuning in. If you tuned in, peace.
life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.